Welcome everybody to Back to Basics today. We're gonna get everybody in here, and then we'll get started pretty shortly. But thanks for showing up. I already see two people in here, Bradley and Jim. Thanks for showing up. And then we'll wait for just a minute or two, and then we'll get started. Welcome, Bradley, Heather. Thanks guys for coming. Started in about one more minute or so. Grab a drink, any snacks you want. All right. Well, we'll let people pop in as they do, but we're gonna go ahead and get started here. Welcome to Back to the Basics. Here's the agenda for today. Today we're going to be focusing on popularity brackets. Really fun app, a lot of user engagement. It's fun to kind of watch a bracket play out. So we'll go over that. We'll go over any questions that you guys have, and you're welcome to ask those as we go along. I have my companion here or coworker here, Ketty. She's going to be able to answer any questions for you. You're welcome to throw those in the Q&A, and we'll get those either answered live here. Or she can get to those. So, but without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into popularity brackets. So, I'm going to come into our platform, and this is probably a page you're familiar with. This is our home page. We're going to go ahead and click create a campaign. So we're going to go ahead and do popularity because we're doing a popularity bracket and it's Halloween time. So we're going to do your favorite candy bar bracket. So favorite candy bar. We're going to start a campaign. All right, so if you're familiar with the, where is that sitting? If you're familiar with our sweepstakes app, a lot of this is going to look very similar. If you've done a sweepstakes, you're going to be able to do most of our other apps. It's going to be really easy for you that way. There's lots of settings in here. We have the title. You have your prize. We're going to, instead of vote for your favorite band, we're going to do your favorite candy bar to win. And you can set the schedule. So we're going to set this. I'm going to have the start. Let's say it started at 9 o'clock this morning and it's going to end. Let's do it. This is for Halloween. We're going to actually do it for a few days after, and I'll show you why we're going to set it for a few days after in just a moment, but we're going to set it so it'll end November 4th. Why not? So then you're going to have all kinds of settings. If you're unfamiliar with these, there's little tool tips. You can click these little question marks, and that's just going to show you what's going on with each of those. If you have questions about how this is set up, or this form over here, which I'll show you in just a second, where you can find more info on how all this is set up. But that's all the settings over on this side. Whatever you want to set up there, terms and conditions and whatnot. And then you've got your main form. This is what you're going to collect users' info this way. On step one, you can choose how they're going to sign in with an email and password, Facebook, whatever you want them to be able to allow to enter with. And then in step two, you can ask for whatever kind of user info you want. Here's some just the ones that you can ask. I don't want to ask birthday. Maybe I want to ask, instead of birthday, I want to do phone number. So I'm going to come in and add phone number, wherever that is. There it is. I'm going to add that and move this around and ask that there. So you can add all kinds of fields. We have user fields, everything about the user, where they live, their phone number, all kinds of things in here. We have input fields if you want them to answer a question, choose from a drop-down box, upload an image, all kinds of things. Some of those might not necessarily be useful on a popularity bracket, but you can ask all kinds of things, social fields, follow, and all kinds of other random, just different things you can ask for the user. So that's what you can do in there. The difference you're going to notice with the popularity bracket is that this content box is just a little bit different. So you have the option to add a header image, which if you've seen our sports application, you're going to be able to, this will be familiar to you, but I'm going to go ahead and upload an image for my header image and pop that in there. Have your favorite candy bar. And then you can add a background image just like you can with all of our, with like sweepstakes. But with the background image, and I'll show you what this looks like, because the popularity bracket is going to get quite long, and depending on how long your, how large your bracket is, this is going to get really long. So your background image is automatically going to attach to the bottom of the campaign. As you see, I drag it up and down, and it's going to just get dragged along there. So with this kind of app, if you're going to use a background image, it's going to show up here on the bottom, and I would recommend that if you're going to use it, you have it kind of fade into the background of whatever you have. In this case, it's white right now. Or actually, I want to change that because white is kind of plain. So we're going to add a background color, and I'm going to add in this nice orange that I was using. And put that in there. So in that case, I don't really want to use this, but if I wanted to make it so it faded into this color, that would look really great. But in this case, I'm going to remove our background image because I don't like the way it looks there. So go ahead and remove that. It's going to reload page. And then I'm going to show you real quick, because I think this is important for every campaign. You should be getting sponsors for these. It's really great to have a sponsor attached to these. So I'm going to show you how to add that real quick. You can go into add overlay box, and I'm going to have 2 sponsors for this. So we're going to click on the settings of this overlay box, and let's see, I'm going to put in an image, and we're going to do Mars is going to sponsor this, and I'm going to link to their website, which is just mars.com, and close that. And so now I can have that. I can move this around, drag it around. Maybe I want my other logo to be over here, so I'm going to put this over here, and I'm going to add the other one in, and that's going to be Hershey's is going to be sponsoring this as well. So I'm going to add that. And I can add text to this, which will show up below the image, but I don't really want to do that. I just want to leave the logo because it looks nice and clean. And their website is thehersheycompany.com. Company.com. And go ahead and close that. So then I can drag these. I can make them bigger. I can make them smaller. I can move them wherever I want so that it looks good. Make it so that these logos are the same size. Move them around. I can add as many of these as I really need to. You can also put text in these or just a plain image. If you don't want it to link to your sponsor, you can do that as well. But that's kind of the rough rundown of this. Is pretty familiar. You're going to be doing about the same thing you would on a sweepstakes, just slightly different. With the mobile setup, it's the same thing. You can add your header image, your mobile image. So I'm going to add in just the same one, but you probably would have a different size graphic here. So that's going to upload, and I can add my sponsors, add mobile sponsors, and I can put those in. I can add 2 columns since I have 2 sponsors and put those in. But again, all of that, if you want to see how that's done, how a sweepstakes is set up, if you're not familiar, you can always come down this chat little bubble here, and you can search for help. And I'm going to look up sweepstakes because that's our most basic app. And there is like a full video walkthroughs and articles and whatnot. So if I want to click on a full walkthrough, and I can watch a previous Back to Basics, I actually did this one, and it just shows you how that runs. So you can watch that here and watch it all within the bubble while you're working on whatever you need to. So if you have questions on how that works, or you can always chat into us, but that's where you can see how that's set up. So let's get into the actual specifics to what's different about popularity brackets. So we're going to go into this bracket tab up here at the top and go into setup here. So you got a couple different settings with here. It's kind of similar to our sports app if you've used that. But the bracket name, I'm going to do favorite candy bar, and that's already been there. The bracket schedule, I'm going to set this. It's going to start at the same time that my contest did. However, I'm going to have it end. Excuse me. You're going to have it end on, let's say, Halloween at noon, and we'll have that there and save that. The reason I'm doing this is because if you want users to be able to come back and see, hey, how did the contest end? How did the bracket finish up? You're going to want to put out the date a little bit longer so people will be able to see that. Now, if you have it embedded on your site, it'll still be shown, but by default, we have some publishing settings that will show it when it's live, and so it will go away after. So that's why I made it a little bit longer so users can come back and see how it went. So that's that, scheduling out the bracket specifically, not the whole campaign. Then you have the display votes. This is how it's going to be shown to the users. You'll be able to see this on the back end, no problems there, but this is what the user is going to see. They can see how many votes have been for each one before voting, after they've already voted, or not shown at all. In general, I recommend not shown at all just because it helps either make cheaters don't have people cheat as often, or they don't. They'll be very obvious, because if you show up before voting, then they know exactly how many votes I need to do to win. Or if you have it after, they can see the same thing. But if you have show none, they're just going to have to guess and just enter in a zillion times. And it's going to be apparent that they have way more votes. So you can see if maybe something seems fishy there. So that's really how you can choose if and when votes are displayed. Now for the actual participants, this is how many different participants are you going to have in your bracket? How many teams, how many different items, whatever you want to have, pets, all kinds of things. You can choose how many are you going to have for your bracket. Now you're going to have to do this in I think it's a multiple of 8 or an exponent of 8, whatever it is, or 2, sorry. But in this case, I'm going to do 8, and I'm going to go ahead and click create bracket because I'm going to have 8 different candy bars that I want to go. So that'll pull up my bracket created down here. And before I go into this, I'm going to show you just the last setting here, which is automatic winner. Automatic winner, this is going to allow you to have your your bracket automatically advance. So you don't have to come in and say, okay, this person won, this entrant won, whatever. You can choose. You don't have to choose that. It's just going to automatically do it. Now, you do have to have an email put in here because sometimes maybe if there's a tie, the system isn't going to pick one. So you have to come in and manually do that and choose who's going to advance if there is a tie. But that's the rundown of these quick settings up here. Then we're gonna get to the actual participants. Who's gonna actually be and what's gonna be shown to the users. So I'm gonna go ahead and click add participant here. And you can add all kinds of different things. You can have images, audio, video, even a YouTube URL that people can watch for whatever you want to do. In this case, I'm doing images. So I'm gonna choose an image and we're gonna do Snickers candy bar, and I'm gonna name it Snickers here in this name box. You can have a URL, all different kinds of site, Facebook, Instagram, all that. If you want it to be, users to be able to go see, something, maybe you have a sponsor or maybe it's an entry it will go somewhere else. You can have all of that here. You can also add a description. So maybe I'm doing a pet bracket, and who has the best pet. Maybe the users have a description like, hey, this is what was happening in this image, or let me tell you a little bit about my cat or whatever. You can put a description in here, and users will be able to read that. I'm not going to do that in this case because it's a Snickers. Most people know what that is, so we'll be good there. But you can add a description. I can also go in and edit it or remove it from my list of participants. But that's how you're going to be able to go in and do all that. So you can add all 8 of your participants, and then you can set up your bracket schedule. This is going to be for each round, how this is going to play out. With the rounds, you're going to want to make sure that they're within this date range of this bracket schedule. This is the overall, but you're going to have each one for the rounds. So I have the first round is going to start today at 9 a.m., just like the rest of my stuff there. And we'll say this one's going to run. This is the one where they have to pick from the most amount of participants. So we'll say this one runs a little longer, and we'll go till the 24th. Why not? And then my round 2, we'll just have it pick up right after, so the 25th. And this one will go till the 28th. And the last one I'll have go from the 29th to noon on Halloween. Set that to noon. Great. So now the rounds will progress automatically. If you have this automatic winner, that's when it's going to the end of this time. That's when it's going to choose to advance these along. You can see the participants. Now you can come in here. You can put your participants. So I've only got one in right now of Snickers, but I'm going to go over to one that I already have created. So I'm going to come into my other one that I have ready to go. It already has all the candy bars that I want to put in, and all the dates are roughly about the same. I've got Reese's versus Kit Kat, and I was able to choose those. If I unselect both of them, then I can put them into their specific spot that I want them to go for. With this one, I have automatic winners turned on. So at the end of this date, this is going to automatically move forward, and we'll go into round 2, and you'll be able to see the participants there. As you can see, I've already got a few votes that I put in. Reese's has 2, Kit Kat has 1. You got some different numbers there. At the end of this, that'll be what this is the round progressing is based off of. But that's basically the setup of the bracket. It's pretty simple. If you have a tie, you can manually come in and choose the winners by clicking this little trophy icon. This one, the round hasn't closed yet, so I can't pick it, but it'll have me pick. They'll have the 2 options, and I can pick between which of those I want to advance. But that's the rundown of how the actual bracket itself works. And you can add in all your participants. You can add, if you have a larger amount, you can have up to 64, and I had to have all 64 of my participants. You can add images. You don't have to. It just looks better, and users can see that. I do want to show off kind of what this looks like on the user's end real quick. I'm going to go in. This is just what this is looking like. So I'm going to go ahead and enter. We'll do a different email because I don't remember what my password is for that. So just do a test at backtobasics.com and enter that. And just enter in some info, create a login. You're creating a login so that users can be able to come back in, see what they have voted for, and vote for the next round. So that's why you want to have a login there. Oops, I didn't put in that, and submit. So now you'll see I've got my 2 logos. If I click on that link, it's going to take me to the HersheyCompany.com. Same thing for Mars. And then it's going to ask me for the information that I was asking. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Both of these are required. And then I'm going to hit submit, and now it's time to pick which one I want. So I'm going to vote. I like Reese's more, so I'm going to vote for that one. Oops, I wanted to continue. It'll automatically pull users forward between these. Let's say Milky Way, and it'll show me the next matchup. And I like Twix more. And between 100 grand and Hershey's, both pretty good, but I think I'm gonna do 100 grand for this. So it'll show me when the next round is gonna go, so I'll know when to come back. And you'll see, I can see which ones I voted for, how many, the round name is shown, and you can see all of that. So that's what that's gonna look like on the user's end. If I come over here to back to my back end and see the setup page, I can see that those votes will be tallied in. So now I've got 3 for Reese's. I've got a tie here between Milky Way and Musketeers and whatnot. I am going to change this so you can just see what this looks like. So let's say that it ends right now and it is 12:18. So we'll set that. Or actually, I think we can probably do just a second before and it'll still work. And we'll hit done. So now it'll end right now, or it ended 10 minutes ago roughly. And I think because I didn't have it, it didn't end because I changed it in the past, it's going to be confused, but then it should be shown as soon as it hits that time there. So but then you'll be able to, it'll automatically advance the winners, and it'll have you know, hey, you need to come back, and because there's going to be a tie here, I'm gonna have to pick between the two. Like I said, you can come in, select as a winner whichever one they have the same amount of votes, and I can select which one is the winner there. But then it'll proceed to the next round and it'll put in whoever won. So in this case, I'm just going to choose them automatically. We're going to say Reese's won, and we're going to say between the two, Three Musketeers won the tie on that, and the Twix has the higher votes, so we'll do Twix. And 100 grand had more. Oops, 100 grand had more there. Now, like I said, this will automatically be done, but just for time's sake, so I don't have to wait for that. I'm just going to show you. Now that those have won, they should automatically, if I refresh, I believe they should go back into round 2. No, not quite. It should show you, it won't show you the ones that lost. So if you come in here, you can see between the two, it's going to be Reese's versus Three Musketeers this way. And it was Twix versus 100 grand. And then the second round will start and people will be able to go in and vote for those again. So that's the bracket. That's how that roughly runs. If you have questions on that, please write them in, or on any of it that I've gone over so far. We can get those answered for you. Then I'm just going to show you just a few more tabs real quick. Then we'll get to any other questions that you guys have. But these ones are a little bit more specific to our popularity bracket. So we're going to go into votes. This is where you can see how many total votes each thing has gotten over the course of the entire campaign. And the cool thing about this is, let's say maybe your sponsor, you have a sponsor and they're only interested in the people that voted for Milky Ways. You can actually export a list of users that voted for Milky Way. So you can pass that along to your sponsor. Cool little thing you can do there. So that's the votes. You can also go to the team stats tab. This is going to show you the total votes. You can see it for each round. If you didn't want to go into the bracket, you can see it for, round 1, round 2. Obviously there's no votes in those yet, but round 1 and overall are going to be the same, but you'll be able to see the overall after some rounds have passed. So, and then with this one, just like our other campaigns, if you wanted to have a winner say, hey, if you vote in this popularity bracket, you have a chance to win, you can choose a winner there. So, but that's about the simple rundown of how popularity bracket works. Let's go ahead and get to, if you have any questions, and if not, I'll show you where some resources are and we can let you get on with your day. So I'm wait for just a moment. Go ahead and write in any questions, thoughts, if you want to know any use cases or whatever. Go ahead and throw those in real quick and we will get them answered for you. I'm going to go ahead and write those questions in. I'm just going to show you where our resources are, and if we have any questions, then we'll answer them after I go over that real quick. So we have a few different resources for you. If you have questions on how all of this works, we have our chat support, which if you come into our platform, if you haven't seen this already, we have this little chat bubble. This, you can ask a question, this will send to the support team. Or if you have, you want to read articles or video walkthroughs, this links to our help page, which is help.audience.io. And you can read articles and watch videos and all that kind of stuff. And we have our phone number that you're able to call us at. And like that help page I just sent in an email. So yeah, if you need any help, let us know. We're happy to help you figure out all of that. But if not, then looks like we haven't had any questions come in. So I hope you guys all have a fantastic Halloween. Have a great day.